uniquely sophisticated, connected to the world around them, often overlooked, the indigenous peoples of our planet, though they are often disparaged as primitive, exotic.
It's like 370 million of indigenous peoples around the world.
And the term tribe itself is something backward, uncivilized. But I think it should be turned from a negative word to a positive one.
There have been indigenous tribes on the island of Taiwan for many thousands of years, and they've shaped the whole region.
In terms of language, Taiwan's Aboriginal people speak a diversity of Austronesian languages. They migrated from Taiwan through the Philippines towards the South Pacific.
Today, they work hard to maintain their identity in this modern world.
So what's so unique about indigenous culture is because it's just there and different from what is dominating.
But it is their very difference that makes their culture so valuable. And there's much to learn from them.
When you appreciate that difference, then it's beautiful. It's unique. It's just there.
Around 100 years ago, as society changed, many indigenous people in Taiwan migrated from their traditional homes. A number of the Diane people were resettled from the mountains to the plains here in Nanao. Traditionally, a Diane male must master many skills, including those of a hunter, craftsman, and builder. But on the plains, these skills were quickly lost.
When I was young, I sort of had this experience. Children, our kids, would like to sit around our vuvu and then we listen to his story.
Hayong is the hereditary chief of the Hakapalis, and he has not forgotten his house in the mountains. Now, half a century on, he's recreating it as the tribal school in Nanao.
There are certain wisdom for house building in Diane culture. For the symbolic side of house building, the most important things in a house is the firework.
火的上面是这个叫熏架，熏架摆放一些什么东西，就是狩猎的皮，然后就是我们的这个猎具湿了，怕它腐旧，那个腐坏掉，所以打猎回来每次都会碰到，因为深山里面都下雨嘛，所以要马上去把它除湿。
أنا كنا نحنا نوم لك شوطة كده خنا نوم أنا يعني شانكو خنا نوم سكاي كده يوم راغ تازان نونا بونgan كده خلو نانن كان نانو مسلم لك باون.
Specifically, he's ensuring his own son, who will become chief in turn, is learning the Diane traditions.
达恩取材的材料很重要。如果你随便拿，没有到1年以后，这个建筑物里面会蛀虫、会腐旧、腐烂，就断掉。你先这边，然后再来这里之后。
Traditionally, Diane craftsmen learn on the job.
那肩膀扛肩膀，
扛肩膀。
Hayong and his sons have worked hard to maintain the Diane culture. The Taiwanese government is trying to preserve the culture of the indigenous groups by supporting tribal schools.
如果这个第一次初步模型我们做小一点，下一次会做的话， 当然男生的也很大，男生是2个肩带，女生1个头带。
On weekends, the children learn about their culture here, mostly through practical tasks.
这次苏迪勒台风啊，比我们预期的还要大，大概14到16的风速哦，会造成我们部落学校的这个传统住屋有受到很大的损害。
这个没有搬的话不行啊。
修复材料就是石板应该是够，那就是竹子，啊，另外就是黄藤。
For those who live in the ecological system with more bamboo in it, the house building relies on bamboo hugely. But for those who live in the place with better rock, they will take the rock as material for house building.
Haiyong has to go out to find the yellow rotang for the repairs. It's necessary if they're going to rebuild in the traditional way, and the next generation is going to learn.
Like indigenous peoples themselves, they do not have a lot of tech knowledge. They do not have big trucks or those things. They only use their hands.
Because we had more chance to direct interaction with the nature or with the environment, we had more chance to learn by doing.
这个搬了，不然的话一个呢拉了麻烦了。
The rotang has to be worked before it can be used for building.
这个没有的话没有办法。这个盖最少那个烧饭不行。
在通常泰雅族高度住的地方，也跟黄藤的分布会有关系，因为它是基本的生活材料。很少说泰雅族住的地方没有产黄藤的。
50只一把，一个传统屋是大概要1200到1300只左右了。如果你这个没有修，这么粗不好弄，所以他要弄这样子，然后这个这样。
Haiyong insists on repairing the house himself, even though it's hard work finding the materials. Students from the tribal school are also helping out. In doing so, they're learning about Gaga, the group ethic of the Diane.
Gaga means a norm shared by everybody. You share the parade after the hunting activity. You share the labor during the agricultural activities, and also for house building.
40个人上去确实没有问题，因为那我们的石板是9棍，里面才几公斤而已，那个是9000公斤的在上面。
Building this way is labor-intensive. In the old days, it was thanks to Gaga that houses got built. The rotang is used to bind the bamboo together on the roof.
底下那个是打石结，就是台风震动，它不至于会那个脱节，它只是会断掉。那上面这个是打活结，因为将来这个还是要拿掉。
他们会利用藤在不同的地方以不同的绳结的方式去把这个建筑体绑得很好，包含桥梁，包含架屋。
The traditional Diane roof consists of 5 layers. The first is bamboo, then tree bark for waterproofing, then another layer of bamboo. The stone slabs go on top of this, and lastly it's bamboo again to hold down the stones.
上面不是就绑好了，就
就好了，因为还要用压痕木8条前4后4压成这样，所以这个石板才不会跳上来。
还有一个一个板子，上面是还要压嘛。你看，为什么这样呢？石板是那个有的那个大，有的那个小，没有这那个压的话哈，再后那个根本会中。
Typhoons are a real problem for traditional houses.
风很大的因素是压差，这种多孔隙的房子哈，因为它内外的空气是有流通的，哦，所以它的压力的落差不会一下子变得那么巨大。
很多人是慕名而来看那个传统屋，而且里面又有那么多的传统生活器具可以介绍，然后里面又是我们以前生活的一个重要的地方。
社会还那个马克什么规矩呢？还那个做那什么纪律那个，人家如果是没规，俺那没规，咱那个如果是人如果是没规，那个那个没毛个。个把那个啥那个一三没说那个人体发现啊，那个说，做什么什么不了那个可能在不那个中北，中方，啥那个新しいわけかなまそう。
But if they're to recreate the Diane way of life, there's plenty still to do. The old Hakapali's chief has a long way to go if he wants to recreate the Diane way of life, starting with completing the traditional barn at the tribal school.
在我们的泰雅族的生活圈里面，一定还是要有谷仓。
A village elder holds a ceremony to bless the project.
所以那个要多2尺出来的。
Selection of the location is important. You need to select with a more stable land, with less mudslide.
那我们大概都会以耆老为主啦。他们认为。 以他们的生活传统经验里面，这个谷仓位置在哪里最适当，我们就摆在哪里。
The hole for the column has to be dug by hand. If it's dug by machine, the surrounding earth would loosen, the column would be less secure, and the barn would collapse.
一个手，你手多少人的片可以了。
Using traditional measuring methods like this requires experience. Get it wrong, and the barn stability would suffer.
处理好了以后，等一下就要钉4根柱子，以地面的宽度跟上面的宽度就要一样。然后这些工作比较慢。
As with everything the Indigenous people do, this project has to be sustainable. So the wood is held together with joints, not nails.
这个还要用啊，用的也是用的，进去这个没有办法。你该说哈，再放再歪，我们接这个转掉，不用，这个还要卖材料。
The base of the column is held fast with mud and stones.
我们谷仓放小米，那个老鼠会上来吃。
So a rodent prevention board is used.
有一个比较弧度，有点弧度的一个槽要挖出来。
The wood is carved into an inverted bowl shape, which effectively prevents rats and mice from climbing the pillars and getting into the barn.
它会做一个悬空，老鼠跟着柱子上去，它会卡在那个洞穴那边。
Raising the barn on stilts keeps the stores from getting damp, as does the waterproofing on the roof.
要看直线，歪的就切掉了。歪的话，等一下到屋顶合起来会翘，翘起来的话，它就没有一致了。
Removing the internal joints means that if you overlap the bamboo, it becomes an effective drainage system.
泰雅族的家，或者他这个家屋这个空间，其实从他出生到死亡，他都必须依附着这个家，家再延伸到整个嘎嘎的一个组织里面，是一个最重要的一个生活空间。
Passing on these traditional skills is helping keep the Diane culture alive.
Even though the modern society do have more complicated technology, but you have to respect the local knowledge, especially the local knowledge that indigenous people gain after a long-term adaptation to the environment.
The 90-year-old chief has managed to maintain his knowledge even after moving out of the mountains, and he has become an important link to their roots. Jivutakaran is a village deep in the mountains of southern Taiwan, and it boasts the finest collection of stone slab houses of the Paiwan tribe on the whole island. As such, it's in the running to become a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
There is still a possibility through rebuilding, through research in the archives. And then you can see how these indigenous people survived from through these hundreds of years.
According to folklore, the village was first settled 4 centuries ago. And at its peak, there were nearly 100 of these stone slab houses.
The archaeology in the indigenous society or in the indigenous culture shows their wisdom of their adaptation to the environment.
The style of these houses has evolved over the centuries, built cooperatively simply by stacking stones one atop the other in a drywall process.
在老七家这样造屋，不是只有一个家族他的一个事情，是整个部落来去做的努力。我们老七家经过2次的迁移，在迁移的过程当中，人跟人的关系都已经不再像早期这么密切。
Guo Dongxiong is chairman of the Jivutakaran Association, and it is their responsibility to rebuild these stone houses. Cai Jinyu's roof collapsed 2 years ago.
这是以前的门口，以前的家的门口，这都是屋顶的石头，这都是最原始的石头。刚刚倒塌的时候，其实都睡不着呢，毕竟那是从小在那边长大的啊。
Her elderly father also thinks often about their old home in the mountains, so renovating the house is very important to Cai Jinyu.
我们急迫想要去重建这一栋石板屋，主要就是这么独特的一个房子呢，有这样结构或者是这样的格局已经不多见了。那如果没有去重建的话呢，对于七家部落的文化呈现呢，是有一个断层。那我们对外的一些交通系统不是很健全，遇到下雨我们这些路呢就坏掉。 车子没办法通行。
Deciding to reconstruct the house is the easy part, but actually doing the work is going to turn out to be surprisingly hard. Just getting to the village is the first challenge in reconstructing the Paiwan stone slab house.
很多倒下来的这些木头，还有这些大石头，这都会阻碍我们骑车或者开车。 那要把这些都排除掉，族人回到旧部落呢，会比较安全。
Kita cacina ibatan, tua paing ulang tua capana, asiminga nasi cuci macan.
Li Taishan is General Director of the Jivutakaran Association, and it is his job to supervise reconstruction of the house.
我们现在就是开始要拆了。 拆这个墙，有斜的也要倒的，我们就拆掉。拆掉之后呢，我们再给它叠回去。
To carry the weight of the roof, the walls must be at least 60 to 90 centimeters thick.
因为它这个有那个树根嘛，树根大的话，因为那个树根的力量很大，越来越大一代，当然会垮下来啊。
Some of the slabs are damaged in the fall, and so replacements are needed.
师傅，一车就可以了吗？好，
都石头可以捡一车。
北山说有。
They need to find a good source of stones, as the project can't continue if there aren't enough.
因为我们的石头不够，部分人员就来搬拆石头。
It's something that brings the tribe's people together, something rare these days when tribal connections are less strong.
It changed the entire society because the outside influence is stronger than the society itself. So it sort of dissolutes the hierarchy inside the Baiwan village.
The Javuza Karan Association is a modern invention, something that's allowing them to reconnect with their traditional culture through such projects as this house reconstruction.
透过我们传统跟现代的一个结合，能够把头目或者其他的一个阶层带进来。
我回来了哦。我们每一个家一回来都是第一个动作都是先生火。
The young chief, Li Zhihao, comes back to the village whenever he has time off from work.
我是一个头目的身份。其实他们以前的观念头目其实没有在工作的了，在旁边看的。
Chief is responsible for taking care of the entire village, the land. It holds the rivers and the mountains, but its job is to provide for the needs of its people. The noble and the professional class, they provide skills and services to the chief family and also the entire village.
是因为我年轻人，我不好意思，我叔叔，这我阿姨，这我姐姐，我的婶婶我不做，好像怪怪我的。
这个地区开始做地区了，要摆最大的下面。
These traditional stone houses have evolved to take nature into account.
我们比如说，它挡上面，何况还要挡到所有的摆动，这种方法。
The owner's brother-in-law, Chen Chi-fu, is also an experienced craftsman.
真正的来摆法这个跟这个交叉的缝应该要压下去才会坚固。叠上去，摆整齐就好了。要后背啊，没有后背的话不坚固啊。
The back wall is flush against the mountainside, and it's earth-retaining. The center of the wall is filled with small pieces of broken stone to anchor the wall.
泥土啦、石头都可以啊。
The gaps between the stones allow the house to stay warm in winter and cool in summer.
它不好敲。
去这个辨别石头的时候呢，会用敲的方式。如果声音呢听起来比较清脆的，那密度很高，会用在比较算是屋顶或者前墙。
The wall is nearly finished, but it's proving difficult to source a 10-meter-long wooden beam. And without that, work has to stop.
材料真的不好找，后来还好我们乡长热力挺我们把他原本有的材料就卖给我们。
They have bought some old telephone poles, and these can be repurposed as beams. And that saves felling trees in the forest as well. Work can continue.
刚好10米了哈，好的，我们做就直接，我们要上梁了没？
Every house has a large stone pillar to take the weight of the main beam.
所以祖灵柱的一个树立其实就是整个家族的一个核心，这个是非常重要的一个建材。那也透过祖灵柱的搬运让部落的人协助这一栋房子呢去把它盖好，所以它是被祝福的如果没有祖灵柱呢这个家族就不存在。
现在的梁新装的只有3只
对，3只。
我这个横梁要先上去把这个平给它拉平。
The central main beam goes in first, and then the outer ones. There's a great deal of adjustments to be made to ensure they're all exactly parallel.
上，上，好，等一下，
要这样用这样。
对，要画嘛。
把前面带领脚刚刚好，没带领脚就好。
好，可以闪开了，拜拜了。
在本来路sini paka masenang ipanana na paka majilama bukan na.
After the main beam is in place, the chief priest has to ask permission from the ancestral spirits for the work to continue.
不管台风，不管怎么样，不会坏呀。
不会有意外发生。
这个石头压下去的话就很扁了。
The way the wood is placed on the roof allows the house to breathe.
你烧在里面烧火，它就有烟，就会这个跟跑出去。
The arrangements of stones on the roof prevents the rain from getting in.
上面的水下来的时候，你滴下来这个洞里面，你这个石板一定要在它里一半以上，所以石板用的很多很多。
But there aren't enough to cover the whole roof. It's a headache for Li Taishan.
我是怕不够啊，因为到时候再搬下来就可能破很多，不知道该怎么办啊。
A traditional stone-built house is being rebuilt at the village of Jivutakaran in the Taiwanese mountains. The roofing slabs were damaged when it collapsed, and now there aren't enough to cover it. Lee decides to use a liner over the front roof to reduce the need for stones. The biggest slabs go at the bottom of the roof, getting progressively smaller as they go higher. At the ridge, larger stones are used again to anchor the whole roof.
用大一点哦，把它全部盖起来，然后风也不会给它这样子吹啊，因为它很重啊。很小的，它就会一直咚咚咚咚，它就慢慢的滑下来了。
Finally, the roof is complete.
我部落到现在多了一户，那就是45户啊。
原始的那种家，也没有改变的家，所以说恢复这样都很高兴，也很怀念。
According to their beliefs, the tribe's people coming together to work on this project has blessed this house.
市长跟总干事，谢谢你们，马上上干嘛呀？谢谢。 Even though times change, the residents of Jivutakaran are managing to keep their traditions alive with this kind of collaboration. The Taiwan Indigenous Peoples Culture Park.
整个是一个户外博物馆概念，就是把各族群代表性的一个建筑物，把它呈现在这些不同的区域。
However, the exhibit of traditional housing from Orchid Island has been closed for some time.
没有人在里面生活，也没有新烟，所以它腐坏是比较快的。
The only way to rebuild this underground dwelling is to go back to its origins. Orchid Island is located off the southeast coast of Taiwan. It's a subtropical island, which means the weather changes rapidly, and it's particularly vulnerable to typhoons in summer, and also the eastern and northeastern monsoons. So how do the Yami people who live here deal with these conditions?
The underground house of Dao people is most proper for them to survive typhoon.
风呢，可以用一种非常合乎流体力学的方式呢，去通过它，而不对它产生很大的伤害。
雅美族的这个地下屋还有他们整个家屋所包含的凉台和那个高屋、主屋这3个成分那是别的族群没有的，非常特别。
The raised house and open area can be used for work or for family and guests to get together.
这个叫靠背式，中间这个就是爸爸，旁边这里就是老婆，这边就是大儿子，对，就会靠在这边说会聊天。
The open space is effectively used as a living room.
During 1950s or 60s, the government built a series of modern houses for them because the government thinks these indigenous people, they are living in a very bad condition. During the summer season, all these Taiwan people don't want to live in the modern style of house because it's too hot. Their underground house can do better than the modern style house.
So a lot of people are trying to save the things that are disappearing because the life is no longer there.
With all this rapid modernization on Orchid Island, fewer and fewer Yami people know how to build the old underground houses. One of the few who is in a position to pass on his knowledge and craftsmanship is Untitled of the Dongxing tribe.
这个是以前我们真正的传手的做法，所以为什么我都会把它继续做下去？我怕说，那我们下一代的小孩子会不知道以前有这种的传手。
Now, Untitled is taking his son and other tribe members to the culture park to rebuild the Orchid Island exhibit there.
我小时候的印象就是我跟爷爷奶奶住在传统的高屋里面度过一些年的那个童年，一直想找回那个感觉。即使他们已经不在了，可是我还是会想要再去搭建。
Their job is to rebuild 2 underground houses and a raised house.
这边那个不要动了，不要动。中柱在哪里？中柱这里啊。
There are many challenges here, not least that the environment here is completely different from that on Orchid Island. Everything in the Yami lifestyle is built around the ocean. So not being able to see it here in the culture park, the father and son builders are having to adapt their skills.
其实施作方面，我们也是遇到很多困难啊。我们要遇到说土堆不够啊，地基不稳啊，什么我们要该怎么补啊，补墙。光是地基的部分，我们就花了很长的一段的时间。
They have to fit the rebuilt house into the space of the old one. And this means adjusting the central column's position over and over.
在挖放中柱的那个，因为它那个地方是靠近我们熏飞鱼的或是熏鬼头刀的地方。这个中柱是它最神圣的一个柱子。好，放中间。这个一个了，一个就好了。这一个这个就挖一个就好。
当初在规划这样子的一个园区的时候，以日据时代有一个非常有名的学者叫做千眼助太郎，对这些各原住民的一些住家的一些记录。
保佑这次来实行的工班都能够平安顺利的完成，这个建筑物能够长长久久的留存在这边，让大家看到兰屿自己的精神。
有了一个传统建筑，我们在一个家可以谈很多，从传团到渔猎文化，一直到农耕文化，都要依靠家。
15公分宽，2米7的，
然后你要8只哦
，8只哦。
The Yami have their own methods of getting a hold of building materials.
在兰屿的话，我们都用台东番龙岩。
The Longan Tree originates in Southeast Asia, and it's the main material used in these underground houses. It is capable of withstanding high levels of humidity.
我们会用那种树，因为材质又密集，是最好的木头，都是 超硬的木头，然后我们拿来做我们的那个装柱。
The central column is the spiritual pillar of these underground houses, and it is passed down from generation to generation. This understanding of materials is most easily seen in how they build boats, the most important asset for those tribes that live with the ocean.
一个以海为主要的生活资源所在的民族呢，这个造船的一个技术就可以看到，事实上这种工艺是非常的精巧的。
The Yami house needs to withstand typhoons and monsoons, and their delicate woodworking skills come to the fore in their architecture as well.
屋顶的部分，它是用竹子来做的，竹子是非常软的，非常有弹性的。不管是正压还是负压呢，它可以维持一个非常柔软的一个方式。这整个屋顶的构造呢，它并没有试图要去抗它，而是用一种比较弹性、比较软的做法呢，去跟风来做一个对应。
While they build the roof, they're also working on the interior flooring. The Yami houses are unique for their three-step design.
就是做成有阶梯状，它省事，它少挖一点，屋子的内部呢也就形成有至少3层的高度。
Since the house is below ground, water can be an issue.
我们祖先的一些智慧他们会在这边挖，就是门口下面这边，里面都装那些这么大的鹅卵石，下雨天就这样，它会沉淀到这边，它也不会满潜。
This unique system channels the rainwater under the earth retaining wall and out towards the sea, keeping the entire village free from flooding in the typhoon season.
从小时候到现在，从来都没有淹过水啊。
After organizing the bamboo on the roof, the next step is to thatch it.
屋顶就是茅草啊，盖着就没有，然后会用竹子去压。
先铺第一层看看质感。
你们要铺的时候，你们先把那个它的根就往下。对。
茅草的屋顶，事实上，第一个本身它非常的轻，第二个呢，它隔热非常的好，因为中间有很多空气层，所以隔热效果非常的好。
Work on the floors and walls continues.
柱子就像一个箭头一样，也就是它这个柱子其实是联系那个木板，不同的板子，它中间空隙，它就加一个这个柱子。
The columns hold the weight of the roof and hold the walls together as well.
今天盒子是4面墙壁嘛，它在 X 向跟 Y 向，它的力量是比较均匀的，所以今天风不管从什么方向吹来，它的抵抗能力都差不多，比较均匀，所以在对抗这个方向不定的力方面，它是比较有利的。
The underground house is a microcosm of the traditional Yami culture.
从这个社会意义来讲，生了孩子以后，那个丈夫就要盖他的至少2门屋，行有余力3门屋，再借着这样子的一个人生阶段去提高自己这个夫妇的社会声望。4门屋做成了，表示你这个夫妇很棒的了。那恐怕也都要到中年了。
The last section is the raised house, an extension of the underground house.
如果说部落里面的男女人，都无聊的话，大家都会集中在一个工作坊、高屋里面，消磨时间。因为夜晚太长嘛，冬天。
Somehow, this reconstruction has to balance the old research and the tribesmen's own experience. Zhang Majun is leading his tribesmen in reconstructing a traditional Yami house a long way from its traditional homeland.
3岁我就有记忆了，我还有住过我以前的房子， 我对这个高屋和地下屋都很了解。为什么我会一直在鼓励年轻人，让他们学习我们兰屿地下屋？我的意思是一定要让他们去做，去体验。以前祖先他们住的房子是怎么样？
会啊，因为他老人家他有他的坚持啊，因为这是他以前住过的，他当然坚持，所以我尊重他。
Today, the designer has come to the park to check on the progress.
是啊，那是跟我们自己的高屋一样。我自己的家是这边有的没有封，我的是有封。
那就给他封过来。
对，本来就是封啊，那个本来就是要封啊。如果说，
好，那这样子可以吗？好，可以。
这个是部落的人觉得应该是这样去做，我们就顺着他们的看法去做一些调整。
这个茅草，它第一次你可以用2层到第3层左右。然后为什么我们的房子会慢慢厚起来？如果说在从盖屋顶的时候，它会最上层的它会拿掉。别的族群都没有这种的，只有兰屿才会放这种，代表就是比较好看一点。它就是象征着说，好像女孩子有化妆的样子。这个越密越好看，越多越好看的。
This reconstruction has allowed the tribesmen to use their knowledge of traditional techniques.
传统建筑里面，它的好处是整个文化，就对兰屿文化整个一个过程里面，都是从家里开始。
后廊就是放飞鱼罩那个地方，它是泥土地，泥土地其实是隐喻了那个海的原型。那木板地就是人生活的、日常生活的那个境地。
An underground house is built to adapt to the weather, and it also shows the Yami's worldview.
你既然是雅美族人，你就要懂得你的文化，你要珍惜。
The way Dao people apply the local material and the housing style they adapt to the environment is one thing we can learn from indigenous people.
A home has to work with the environment, not against it.
可能我们人变得更贪心，我们要更大的车库，我们要更大的房子，我们耗费更多的资源，我们消耗更多的能源。你今天看这样的一个空间，当然很多时候并不符合现代生活的标准，但是你回过头来想，我们真的需要那么多空间吗？
The traditions of indigenous people all arise from basic human needs for shelter, for food, and for love. And not just for the present generation. Ancestors are respected precisely because they have prepared for their descendants. Tribal lifestyles ensure that each generation will be able to live as well as the last. It's about finding a place in the world and not demanding too much of it.
We need to slow down. We need to stop exploiting this globe so much because you're actually getting more than you need. City folks or people who are not Aboriginal, if they really want to learn from Aboriginal, maybe not the way they live, but the way they look at life. With that strong sense of identity, you move forward.